Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is what if Naruto was a generational genius. Here, we begin this what if by Kushina actually having twins. Yes, one twin is older and the other one is actually younger. Naruto is going to be the younger one, born 2 minutes later, and that was when, Obito actually came and kidnapped Naruto. Of course, didn't kidnap him, but still, no, of course, Obito still tried to, negotiate with Minato saying, give me the Nine Tails Jinchurikin, I'll give you the kid. And, Minato wasn't having any of that. Yo, you good, G? You wanna die? And, of course, Naruto, the same things happen until, when the Nine Tails is sealed. Naruto is actually the first one to get it, even though he's the younger one. Minato believes that Naruto will be Minato actually had a little bit of liking to Naruto more than, Menma, because the name Menma was given by Kushina, while Naruto was actually given by himself, and he actually wanted, of course, his last words were to Naruto and said, Naruto, you have to save this world. And after this, of course, he dies. And anywho, now there are two Jinchurikis of the Nine Tails, and it is what it is. Now Naruto, of course, having the yin side, having the kind side, of course, Naruto here is a generational genius. So Naruto is now 3 years old, and Menma is actually the most liked one. Even though Menma has the worst the worst side of Kurama, from what we know, we can't really say if the other Kurama was kind or not. Maybe he was just as bad as, the Kurama inside of Naruto in the original. But still, it may have been that, or it's just that after he got annihilated by Minato, is that, oh no, like, cool bro, you win, GG bro, GG. Anyway, after this, of course, Naruto and Naruto, who actually spent most of his time in the library, of course, never really had many friends, and so now Naruto is, of course, studying. Naruto wants to become strong and smart in the future, just like the fourth Hokage, his idol, especially because the fourth Hokage gave up his life for the Leaf Village. He wants to become just like him, someone respected, because most people hate Naruto. Anywho, there is only one person that truly, not just one, there are a few people, but right now Naruto's full, so Iruka doesn't really count. Anywho, there are a few people that actually like Naruto. For example, Kakashi doesn't hate Naruto, but of course he doesn't talk to Naruto. Of course, Mad Guy doesn't really give a damn. He believes that everyone's equal, and everyone deserves a chance, like that is shown in the anime multiple times. For example, when everyone thought that Lee was going to be a failure, while Mad Guy was always there for Lee, saying, Lee, you got this bro, the power of youth and that. Anyway, after this, of course, just say Mad Guy is one of the best characters in Naruto, very well developed, very, very sick guy. Anyway, and plus he got spotlight in the war arc. Anywho, one of the best ever characters, one of the strongest ones too. Like, no one was expecting my guy to literally near enough kill Madara. A 6-life stage mode, a Tail Beast, Jinchuriki Madara. I mean, Jubi till no, allow it. Anywho, now Naruto actually had one friend, to be honest, and that one friend was the librarian. The librarian wasn't too much older than Naruto. Naruto was 4, the librarian was actually 18. Yes, he just became 18, and so he started working, and the librarian actually started having a liking towards Naruto. Not that way, the other ways. For example, like Naruto, like the librarian loved books, and he was really like, oh yeah, this kid likes books, my G. Anywho, of course, now Naruto asked the librarian a few things. And just saying, the librarian has been a ninja before the age of 18. He actually quit being a ninja, and he was actually a Jonin. Of course, like Kakashi, Jonins have weird, hobbies. Reading books is not a weird hobby. Like, if you guys read books, it's good. I don't read books because I'm dumb, but still, read books, it's good for you. Anywho, now Naruto asks him a lot of questions about ninjas, and basically, the librarian is happy to answer. Remember, the librarian was a Jonin team leader, and he was a Jonin, but of course, after one mission where he lost his whole team, he actually gave up, realizing that he's not a good Jonin. And so, after this, Naruto, when he actually started asking him, he actually kind of got back, into the hang of like, explaining things to kids. For example, when he was 16, yes, this Jonin was actually a prodigy, so that's why he was a Jonin at such a young age, and gave up at 18 after losing his team a few months before. And he, of course, Naruto asked him questions and always answered him perfectly, and Naruto kept learning, and he actually realized that Naruto is special. Naruto is actually learned a few jutsus just from reading books. Yes, there are jutsus in books. Yes, you can learn about them from books too. They're not only in scrolls, and I'm pretty sure that's plot armor. Allow it, guys. Like, if there are scrolls, there must be books. Anywho, of course, the librarian once saw Naruto actually trying to do the transformation jutsu, and Naruto was able to transform into the librarian, and the librarian was like, whoa. And Naruto's just 4 right now, and basically after this, the librarian actually thought, this one's a prodigy, I can tell. How about I help him out? And basically after this, the librarian actually decided to help out Naruto in actually training. Of course, Naruto was really stoked about it, and so he accepted straight away. While Menma was actually making all the friends and everything, Naruto was actually being the one introvert, training and becoming a prodigy. Of course, now Naruto trained with the librarian for the next 2 years, and the librarian taught Naruto a few jutsus. For example, the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which of course the librarian had. And you remember, Shadow Clone Jutsu is a Jonin level jutsu, and that jutsu is meant to be for Jonin, because not many Chunin and Genin have the chakra reserves to do the Shadow Clone Jutsu, while many Jonin do. For example, Kakashi, even it has been said that Kakashi never really had a big chakra reserve. That's why he couldn't really control the Chidori and everything, and that's why he ran out of chakra real quick. And after getting the Sharingan, it was much easier for Kakashi to control the amount of chakra he put into jutsus. And remember, the Chidori is a high draining chakra jutsu, and Kakashi was it has been shown in a flashback when Kakashi first used the Chidori, he was really tired afterwards, but it is what it is. And anywho, before we continue, are you guys yeah, I know this is just in the middle, but are you guys enjoying the new mic? It's not really a new mic. I'm just recording on my iPad for once, and I got the iPad for editing and studying in the first place. I have studied yesterday, since I'm bedbound or whatever, housebound for the foreseeable future, and tomorrow I'm taking my test. But still, I hope you're all enjoying this. And I will sometimes switch between my phone and my iPad on recording. Sometimes if I don't feel like getting the iPad out, I could just be doing it on my phone, but most of the times I'm probably gonna do on my iPad, because my adapter, which I used to use for my iPad, remember, since I used to listen to music while recording, which actually gets me in the mood. Yes, I love music, and I know I'm not weird. Anywho, everyone likes music, to be honest. Like, you can't really deny that. Anywho, yeah, so my adapter kind of got fucked for some reason. It works on my phone. Like, I'm using it on my phone right now, but it doesn't work on my iPad anymore, so I don't know. But I'm gonna get AirPods, which is gonna be much better, and I'm going to vary through them. Anywho, let's get back into that. What if? Anywho, now Naruto, who has been training with the librarian for 2 years, he has learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and he has actually unlocked his water release. And just saying, both Menma and Naruto actually got a bit more chakra of Minato and Kushina than Menma, because Minato and Kushina, Minato actually sealed the Nantals into Naruto first, and of course Menma got a bit less, but it is what it is. Anywho, now Naruto, of course, training with the librarian for the next 2 years. He learns the Shadow Clone Jutsu, the Water Shockwave. Yes, that is an Jonin level jutsu, and it's a really high tier jutsu, which not many 6-year-olds are meant to know. And also, he learned the Kunai Shadow Clone, the Shuriken Shadow Clone. Also, he learned the Fireball Jutsu. Yes, Naruto has Fire Release too. Also, he learned the Wind Gale Palm, and also the Wind Hurricane. And he learned how to combine 2 jutsus together, water and wind, and he actually created ice, and that is something that I want to give Naruto because of plot armor, and because I want to make Naruto as OP as possible, because there's going to be a few changes. This might be a bit more like a fanfic than an actual, what if this happened, and keeping it a bit to the original series, like original timeline and what really happens. This might be a bit more fanfic. fanfic like. Anywho, now Naruto, who after 2 years actually thanked the librarian, and the librarian said no problem, Naruto. Of course, Naruto then for the next 2 years kept reading books and studying, making absolutely no friends, to be honest. Like, there was only this one girl that actually liked Naruto because she liked going to the library too, and she was his same age. His same age. I said it wrong there. And her name was actually this girl was actually called Sukome, who was actually a spy for the Akatsuki. And I'm only doing another Sukome ship because there will be a few things about this wife that will be really different about the real storyline, the real, the actual Naruto. Anywho, of course, Sukome was actually spying on the two nine-tailed beasts, the two Jinchuriki, and she actually liked coming to the library because it was the one place that she actually found peace, because she doesn't really like being around many people, and she saw the nine-tails, Jinchuriki in the library all the times, and that actually made her life easier, because then she could have just read books while actually spying on him, and it would have made it much easier. Anywho, after this, Sukome actually realized that, the librarian was actually teaching Naruto, and she kind of found this kind of annoying, because the librarian, after, his shift, he usually takes Naruto out to actually go train, and that kind of annoys her, but it is what it is. She doesn't really care about it. Naruto's just getting stronger, which is good for her, because then she will actually have a challenge. And yes, Sukome is a genius too. She is a prodigy. Remember, she is Madara's she is Madara's granddaughter. Anywho, and so she already has, the three Tomoe Sharingan, and she could easily kill Naruto on the spot within less than 2 seconds, to be honest. Like, literally, Naruto would blink, gone. Anywho, after this, of course, Naruto and the librarian trained for another year before Naruto actually becomes joins the academy. And Naruto actually learns a few more things, for example the body flicker, and also he learns how to control his chakra natures better, and he actually unlocks lightning release, which actually helps him learn the lightning stream, and also it helps him create a new jutsu to actually engulf himself with lightning to actually increase his speed. And anywho, Naruto, since he has water and fire, he actually combines the two one day with the librarian, and he actually creates a new release. It was actually steam release, which actually helped Naruto. And steam release actually not only did it create steam to confuse the opponent and blind them, but also to increase the temperature in the battle area, and also increase Naruto's physical capabilities, which made it easier for Naruto to actually start fighting against someone or something. You know what I mean. Anywho, after this, of course, Naruto and the librarian actually say goodbye, and they go home. But of course, now the librarian, who was actually wanted by the Anbu, the root, they wanted him to join the root, and I'm not going to say a specific name because I don't have a specific name for him, so I'm just going to call him the librarian. And so the librarian, of course, doesn't want to join, but out of nowhere, a few Anbu actually came out of nowhere, and the librarian, there were actually a dozen of Anbu surrounding the librarian, and the librarian said, "What do you want?" And of course, all the Anbu were like, "You have to come with us to Danzo, to Lord Danzo." And of course, the librarian's like, "I'll never go to Danzo. I will never, after what he did to my team." And basically, of course, then the Anbu says, "If you just listen to Lord Danzo and join the Anbu before you went on that mission, your team would have still been alive." And basically, then the librarian actually gets pretty pissed, and so he actually decapitates that one that one Anbu, and basically there's only 11 of them left. They all get pretty pissed, and basically Danzo did say that if he doesn't want to join, just kill him. There's no need of him. And so they actually say, if Lord Danzo said we can kill you, so we'll do what we can. And so well, we did what we could, and you don't want to join, so we'll just kill you. And after this, basically all of them rush, the librarian, and the librarian takes all 11 of them, and he was actually able to kill 10 of them until he was actually, tired. And basically, remember, all the Anbu there were actually S-rank Shinobi, and he was an S-rank Shinobi himself, but taking on 12 Anbu on his own is going to be hard. He took out 11, and there was one left, and he was actually about to get killed because he was out of, chakra. But out of nowhere, Naruto, who was actually searching for the librarian, because the librarian left a scroll with him and he forgot to give it back, so he was actually heading towards, the librarian's place, and basically Naruto saw, and out of nowhere, Naruto came with his, steam release and literally burnt the face of, burnt off the mask of the Anbu, and then literally incinerated the Anbu. And Naruto's fire suddenly turned blue, and basically the librarian was like, Naruto, what was that? And basically Naruto's like, I don't know, I actually don't know. And basically that was because Naruto was actually scared to lose the librarian, the only person he actually truly loved in his life. And just saying, Menma and Naruto were actually separated from each other because of course they're twins, but still they used to fight a lot, so they actually got separated. And right now Menma is actually weaker than Naruto, but of course over time he will get stronger just as Naruto, but of course you never know who will be stronger. Anyway, for all you know, I could make Menma the main character and Naruto the bad one. Anyway, after this, Naruto actually started, apologizing for not coming earlier, and basically the librarian's like, it's fine. Anyway, what did you want to give me? And basically Naruto gives the, scroll, and basically after this, the librarian goes home, of course. Anyway, Naruto then, a year later, he actually trains with the librarian over this time, and he actually trains his blue fire that he actually developed on his own. And that is something from not only from Darby, but also from Marco, from One Piece, and I really enjoyed blue fire for some reason. Anywho, and plus Blue Exorcist. Anywho, if you watch that, if you know, Anywho, now Naruto, of course, training for another year with the librarian actually gave him a lot more knowledge, and basically Naruto actually then joins the academy, and Naruto, of course, is put in the same class as Menma. That really pissed Naruto off, and so Naruto asked to actually get put in a different class, but of course they declined, and then Naruto had to go through a year of actually having Menma in this class. Of course Sukome was actually in this class too, and so Sukome actually never really had friends, just like Naruto. Of course Naruto, at this rate, he was never going to have friends, but of course there were two people who actually enjoyed spending time with Naruto, and Naruto actually never really, he enjoyed spending time with them, but he never knew that someone would actually like him. And two of the most popular guys in the class too, it wasn't Menma and Sasuke. I know they may not be the most popular, but they were pretty popular, to be honest. Like Shikamaru and Choji, what are the most popular? Allow it. The most popular in my eyes. Anywho, Shikamaru and Choji, of course, make friends with Naruto, and basically they see that Naruto actually trains every day on his own. The librarian and Naruto train on their own, and of course the librarian was actually thinking of actually becoming Naruto's Jonin team leader. Sorry. Anyway, but of course Naruto is still just 8 years old, and so he has to wait another 4 years. And during these 4 years, Naruto was actually bored of the academy and wanted to leave so bad, but he believed that maybe one day he's actually trying to convince the librarian to become a Jonin again and become a Jonin team leader. But of course the Jonin doesn't mind it, but at the same time he's still traumatized about what happened to his old team because of Danzo. And basically of course another year passes, Naruto's now 10, and just saying Iruka still became the teacher of Naruto's class, and basically that happened the same way. Of course Naruto still making Iruka like him and everything. Of course Menma is still pretty much the most popular in the class. Of course Sasuke just afterwards, and of course all the girls go for them, and basically all the guys are like, was so special about them? Well, whatever. Anywho, this is all irrelevant. Anywho, now of course the academy finishes and Naruto's now 12. Of course, Naruto has been training for the past 4 years, and he has a lot of new jutsus. And just saying, the Uchiha massacre still happened as per normal. And yeah, anywho, now Naruto of course still gets asked by Mizuki if he wants to learn more jutsus, and Naruto's like, yeah, of course. And basically Mizuki tells him to actually, you know, get the scroll of sealing, and basically Naruto actually isn't too gullible, and so he's like, yeah, sure. And basically he actually takes it, but of course he writes jutsus for himself. And basically when Mizuki actually arrives, Naruto actually takes him out easily and brings him back to the Hokage. Of course, then Naruto actually made up a fake excuse that saying that Mizuki actually made me, you know, steal the scroll, so was asking me to steal the scroll, so I stole it. So then once he actually arrived, you know, to the forest, I could actually take him out and bring him back to you. And basically the Hokage actually bought it, and it is what it is. Naruto actually wrote down the Majestic Destroyer Flame. Also he wrote down the Water Dragon Jutsu, which he could have learned from, you know, the librarian, but of course the librarian didn't teach him that. And also he learned the he wrote down the Rasengan, and he actually wrote down the second Hokage's flying flying Thunder God. Anyway, after this, Naruto actually went to the librarian, but to find out that the librarian actually got killed. Of course, Naruto was completely devastated after seeing the librarian's dead body in his home, and Naruto literally went into a rampage, and he's like, wait, what? And literally Naruto lost the only loved one in his life, the only person that he truly enjoyed spending time with. And Naruto was so close to having the librarian as, you know, his Jonin team leader, and he wanted it so bad. And basically now look at him, the librarian's on the ground bleeding and still not even conscious. He's dead literally. Then Naruto sheds a tear, but then his eyes turn red. Of course, Naruto, of course, the Nine Tails, even though he's the kind Nine Tails, of course, you can't really control Naruto's anger or anything. Naruto's just so angry that he's actually taking chakra from, the Nine Tails. And basically, now, of course, Naruto wants to find out who killed him, but he screams out, and basically he lets out a scream of agony and sadness and sorrow. And of course the Hokage actually, everyone in the village hears this, and not only was it Naruto's scream, but also it was the sound of the scream of the roar of the Nine Tails that it made 12 years ago. And of course everyone got pretty shook at this, and basically the Hokage actually looked out of his office and saw that there was a red aura coming from the librarian's place. And the Hokage knows about the librarian. The librarian used to be good friends with the Hokage. Well, not good friends. The librarian actually got taught by the Hokage once when he was actually younger. Of course, now the librarian, who was actually 22, he died, and basically the Hokage Hiruzen was actually there. Naruto was in his tutorial state and literally just holding the librarian in his arms, and literally just crying, and in his tutorial state, and he wasn't even attacking anyone. Naruto is docile. Anyway, that's a word, just saying. It means like thing not harmful. Anyway, now of course Naruto was completely broken by the librarian's death, and basically Naruto was just crying in his fetal form. And once he saw the Hokage, he got pissed off and thought that maybe the Hokage was the reason behind this, and so he attacked the Hokage. But the Hokage was easily able to take on the tutorial state of Naruto. Anyway, of course, now Naruto was taken out by the Hokage, and basically the Hokage then saw the librarian's body, and basically the librarian, of course, got buried. Of course, now the funeral happened, and the librarian never really had any family. The librarian was actually an orphan, just like Naruto. That's why he really could understand Naruto in a greater extent. Anyway, Naruto was actually devastated. He was actually in his home, depressed, and after finding out that after this, the Hokage actually came to visit Naruto, and basically Sukome, who actually started to have a little liking towards the librarian. She found him cool and everything, and basically she actually thought that maybe the librarian isn't too bad, and she wanted to start training with him too. Maybe she could learn a thing or two. But now he's dead too, and he's dead, and basically Sukome is like, what was I even thinking? And of course, anywho, now Naruto then asks the Hokage, who did it? Tell me who did it, Hokage. Third Hokage, tell me. And basically Naruto was actually pretty angry. He was fuming, and basically, of course, the Hokages that were looking into it right now. So please, Naruto, have some patience. Once we find him, he will not be let off easily. And basically, Naruto is like, let off easily. I'll kill him once you find him. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to kill... And basically, as soon as he says this, the Hokage takes him out because he can see that Naruto was getting pretty pissed and his chakra started boiling again. Of course, now then Naruto wakes up in his bed a few hours later, finding out that he must have went into a rampage again. And basically, Naruto was just crying on his bed and, with his knees on his forehead. Literally, he's stuffing his face into his knees. And Naruto didn't even go in the next day to, the Jonin team assignments were actually postponed because one of the Jonin team leaders, one of the team leaders that was meant to be the librarian, actually got killed, and so they postponed it because they needed a new Jonin team leader, and it was going to be Yamato. Yes, Yamato actually came out of the Anbu just to become a Jonin team leader. And the teams, Naruto actually missed them, and he was meant to be in Team 7 as per normal. And of course, and just saying, Sukome missed them too. Sukome was actually meant to be in a team with Menma and I'll say an unknown Genin. And anywho, now I'll say Sai actually got let out by Donzo because Sai needed to actually keep an eye on Menma, and the Naruto's Jinchuriki was Naruto was always on the Anbu surveillance. Anyway, now Naruto, of course, he missed everything, and so he never really understood he never found out who are his teammates. And anywho, now of course, since Team 11, yes, I'll say Team 11, I don't even know, I'll say Team Yamato. Anywho, Team Yamato, of course, was missing a person, same as Team Kashi was missing a person, and it was Sukome and Naruto missing for both teams. And anywho, now, of course, Kakashi was, Kakashi could understand why Naruto was in there, but Yamato couldn't understand why, Sukome was in there. Anywho, Sukome was actually keeping an eye on Naruto, and Naruto, who was actually in his, room, in his little house, was actually just crying and looking at the picture of him. And the librarian took on his birthday, the librarian actually came to his to Naruto's house to celebrate his birthday, his 12th birthday with him. And basically now look at him, the librarian is gone. It was just a few months ago, it was just the day before the librarian's death when Naruto and the librarian actually trained together and they were talking. Of course, now Naruto was just reminiscing memories about him, and he was just crying and and he was kind of happy that he had someone that liked the librarian, but he was even more sadder that he lost someone like the librarian. And this was the thing that broke Naruto. Naruto then realized that he should never have had any loved ones. The librarian died because of him. He believes that everyone dies because of him. And of course, Naruto, by now he's actually been told that he's the Naruto's Jinchuriki by the librarian. And basically Naruto was kind of pissed off at the villagers, at the Hokage. Kind of not really pissed off at the Hokage, but he was mostly pissed off at about how the Hokage never told him. Anywho, Jesus, that scared the shit out of me. Someone fell on the treadmill. It was so shook. Anywho, after this, Naruto, of course, realized that there's no point of him loving anyone or getting close to anyone because it will only bring them pain or death or suffering. Anywho, after this, now Naruto decided to actually leave on the same night. Yes, Naruto is about to leave on the same night, and so he packs up and then says goodbye to the village he actually loved. He never really hated the village, but he hates the people that tried to kill or hated the librarian. To be honest, he doesn't really know who killed the librarian yet, but he will find out and he will kill them. Anywho, of course, Obito was actually watching everything in this scenario right now because he actually came to see how Sukome was doing, because remember, Sukome is Madara's granddaughter, and if anything happens to her, he's probably effed when when the mother gets revived. Anywho, of course, now you already know that Obito was actually watching how Danzo was actually the killer of the librarian, and basically the librarian tried to fight off Danzo, but Danzo was way too strong, and Danzo literally one-shot the librarian with one of his, techniques. And yeah, anywho, now Naruto, of course, leaving the village, he's actually traveling on his own, and it's been 3 days, and the Hokage actually decides to go and visit Naruto and tell him that his team is actually waiting for him, and that he has to, of course, get into his team and literally start doing missions as a ninja, because he did do the test to become a ninja. And of course, now while that was all happening, while the Hokage was actually heading to Naruto's home, Sukome actually realized that Naruto left the village, and so Obito told Sukome that she should actually go spy on the other Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, because he's going to be the harder one to actually find around the world. We don't know where he's going, so you should go spy on him. This one will probably stay in the village for most of his life, and it's going to be easy to find him. Anywho, and plus, to be honest, they only need one half of the Nine-Tails, so it's fine whoever they get. But of course, they're trying to get both of them so they can have a stronger 10 tails. But it is what it is. Of course, Naruto is traveling on his own, and on his journeys he is training his body and mind. And of course, one day Naruto was actually underneath a waterfall, and just saying, Sukome couldn't find Naruto, and it's been 2 months since Naruto's not 2 months, it's been around half a month since Naruto's disappearance. And so the Leaf Village is the Hokage is really worried because he couldn't find Naruto anywhere, and so he thought of the worst, that Naruto must have left, and so they're actually searching for Naruto. And of course, they're not going to tell anyone outside the village, since if anyone outside the village finds out, it's going to be a real problem. Anywho, because if any other village gets half of the Nine-Tailed Beast, it's going to be horrible. Anywho, and especially if it's a Cloud Village, because the Cloud Village already has 2-tailed beasts. Like, think about it. Anywho, after this, of course, Naruto one day, he was actually underneath a waterfall meditating while, in his little meditation pose, So, anywho, Naruto was meditating, and, he actually went into his mind. He found himself inside his mindscape, and just saying, the key to Naruto and Menma's, things were actually different. And Menma's one was actually with the Hokage, and Naruto's one was with Jiraiya, because he wanted Naruto to actually train with Jiraiya. He wouldn't mind both of his sons training with Jiraiya, but he really wants Naruto to train with Jiraiya because he believes Naruto is going to be the strongest one. And he actually gets right, because Naruto is the generational genius. Of course, Menma is smart too, but of course not as smart as Naruto. Naruto is actually the chosen one, the Messiah. And of course, it is what it is. Anywho, now Naruto then woke up in his mindscape and actually looked towards this cage where this massive beast was actually resting. Of course, the Nine-Tailed Beast then looked at Naruto, and the Nine-Tails wasn't too angry at Naruto. This Nine-Tails was the half that didn't hate the humans and actually had sympathy towards them. And of course, the Nine-Tails says, "Kid, why are you here?" And basically Naruto then says, "Who are you?" And basically the Nine-Tails said, "Who do you think I am?" And basically Naruto then explains the Nine-Tails, and of course the Nine-Tails like, "If you know why you ask," and Naruto's like, "I don't know." And basically then the Nine-Tails like, "Get out, go train, kid. You need to get stronger. If you want to get any power from me, well, it's a no. You're not strong enough to handle my power." And basically Naruto's like, "I don't even know why I'm here." And basically then the Nine-Tails must have realized that Naruto must have been meditating too hard, and he actually woke up into his mind. Of course, then the Nine-Tails just said, "Just try to move your body. Just meditate hard enough and try to think, try moving your body through your mind, and then you'll actually wake up." And basically Naruto then tries it and realizes he can. But then he actually goes back into meditation and actually then wakes up back into his mind. Of course, then the Nine-Tails like, "What do you want now, kid?" And basically Naruto's like, "I want to ask you, why did you kill my parents, and why did you kill so many people?" And basically then the Nine-Tails explains that it wasn't his fault. He wasn't in control. There was someone else in control of him. they actually manipulated him. And of course Naruto's like, wait, what? And now Naruto actually found out a bit more about the Naruto's truth, but then the Naruto says, I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'll only tell you once you are able to beat me in a fight, understood? And of course the Naruto is only doing this to actually motivate Naruto to actually find out the truth. And basically then the Naruto's Naruto right before leaving says, do you know who my parents were? And basically the Naruto's like, of course I do, but I'll only tell you if you can beat me in a fight. And just saying, as I said before, this is all to motivate Naruto into training even harder to get even stronger. And so basically Naruto gets motivated, and so now Naruto actually began his training in, you know, the Flying Thunder God. Of course Naruto had a vague idea what it was, but he actually realized that he wrote it wrong. He actually wrote half of the Flying Thunder God, and the other half was actually a different jutsu. It wasn't even the Flying Raijin. It was literally a wood release jutsu, which Naruto doesn't know how to use wood release. And of course Sukome left and Naruto left, and so Sai was actually returned to the Anbu, and Yamato was actually of course Menma actually became the next the next one to replace Naruto in Team 7. Anywho, of course, of course Menma was actually doing D-rank missions with Team 7. And just saying, Menma is actually pretty strong. Even though Menma is not a generational genius, Menma is still a prodigy. Of course, generational genius is something completely different than a prodigy. It is said in the data books, it's a generational genius. I know Itachi was a prodigy, but Minato was a generational genius. One in one generation, like my G, that is mad. Anywho, you could say the same thing for Shisui, like there weren't many people like him in his generation, but think about it. Think about it real hard. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. You thought about it? I know it doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. Anywho, now, Naruto, of course, training on his own, realizing that he wrote the Flying Thunder God completely wrong, doesn't know how to do it, and of course he actually decides to create his own then. So he actually took on the first two steps of the Flying Thunder God and actually created his own, which was actually the same technique Minato created. And of course it was the Flying Raijin, and basically Naruto didn't have the same kunais. Naruto actually had, you know, his engraving on it, his own engraving, you know, the Uzumaki seal. And just saying, now Naruto, and just saying, Menma was actually blonde. Yes, here. Sorry, yeah, Menma was blonde here. I know some people are thinking of Menma from the original, you know, not from the original, from the movie, but Menma was blonde here. And yeah, anywho, Naruto, of course, training on his own for another 2 weeks, of course, then realizes that maybe he needs to find opponents to actually train against and maybe find a teacher. Anywho, of course, Naruto travels, you know, throughout the land of fire, finding no one to actually train with. And so he actually decides to go to the next nearest land, which was actually the land of Waves. And yes, Naruto is just saying, right now he's high tier tuning, near enough Jonin level. You could say he actually is Jonin level with the, you know, Flying Raijin. But of course Naruto, even though he has he mastered it, well, not mastered it, he learned it, he hasn't mastered it though. He can't use it, he can't spam it like Minato. First of all, because he doesn't have enough kunais, he doesn't have money, he doesn't know where to get money from. Anywho, of course Naruto then actually decided to, you know, take on a mission to actually, you know, Naruto doesn't really care what kind of mission it is, as long as he becomes stronger to actually, you know, find out, well, he needs to get stronger, and he wants to find out who killed, you know, the librarian, and he wants to kill that man. Anywho, of course, Naruto keeps training on his own, and one day he actually came across this man called Gato, and basically Naruto, of course, Gato is a merchant, remember, and basically asked Naruto, and Gato actually could feel Naruto's presence. Literally, once Naruto actually walked past Gato felt his presence, and basically Gato's like, hey, you kid, I have a proposal for you. If you come to work for me, I'll give you money. And basically Gato guessed it right. Naruto, it was in need of money, because first of all, Gato took it off from Naruto's clothes. This is visual imagery I'm about to use. This is from English, so if you don't understand anything, it's visual imagery. Anywho, Naruto's clothes were ripped, they were dirty, they were all ragged. Yes, Naruto was like a homeless person right now. Anywho, you could compare Naruto as a homeless person, because he is a homeless person. Anywho, remember, he has no home right now. Now Naruto, of course, then asks what kind of mission it is, and basically Gato's like, it's really easy. You just have to kill this one person. And just don't worry, it's not going to be only you. There's someone called Zabuza, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. And Naruto has learned about all the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist of the past and the present. Anywho, now Naruto's like, I see. And basically, then Gato explains that there is someone else, one of Zabuza's subordinates, but he's not going to be fighting much, since Zabuza doesn't like him fighting too much, and basically the kid doesn't like fighting himself anyway. So, would you take it on? And basically Naruto's like, well, if I don't kill him and Zabuza kills him, or the other guy kills him, would I still get the money? And basically Naruto's like, of course I'll still give you the money, there's no need to worry about that. I am a merchant, I can get my money. And basically, of course, Naruto then accepts and is like, alright, when he's there, and basically he's like, he should be coming here in a few days. And just saying, Team 7 still took on the same mission, and this time it's Menma instead of Naruto, and Menma is still a sensory ninja, just like Naruto. Anywho, now Menma, even if he hated Naruto and he didn't like him too much, he kind of missed him. How inside he really loved Naruto, but of course he that was just what people thought. And Menma really doesn't like Naruto. Like, maybe he actually wanted him back because he doesn't want the Leaf Village to think it's his fault or something, because that was what his hunch was saying. But yeah, honestly, truly, it doesn't really matter to him. He doesn't care, he doesn't give a damn. If Naruto leaves, he left, he doesn't care. Anywho, of course, the Land of Waves arc begins as per normal. And just saying, this is from Kakashi's perspective. Kakashi was walking forward and he noticed a puddle. He doesn't know if his team noticed it, but of course we know that Menma and Sasuke noticed it. Of course Sakura didn't notice it, because right now Sakura is just like in the original. Now, I'm not going to say useless, but part 1 Sakura was useless. Anywho, Shippuden, okay, maybe she was useless during, after finding out that Sasuke joined the Akatsuki, but before that she was, and in the war arc she was completely useful. Anyway, now of course Sakura didn't notice it, and Menma and Sasuke actually took care of the 2 demon brothers. Of course Sasuke could have took care of them on his own, and Menma's actually stronger than Sasuke right now, especially because Menma actually is a prodigy, even though Sasuke could be stronger if he just awakened his one-to-one Sharingan. Anyway, of course Sasuke actually wanted to fight both of them, but Menma going the way is that don't get in my way, you loser. And of course Menma and Sasuke are 2 rivals right now, but his way is Naruto never really wanted to rival Sasuke, because really Sasuke was weak compared to him. He wasn't really calling him weak because he knows that anyone could get strong just like him, and he doesn't want to downgrade others, because Naruto is a kind person. Anyway, Naruto then actually gets on this mission and basically reaches Zabuza and Haku, and basically Haku greets him, and basically Naruto's like, oh, so have you been told? And basically Zabuza and Haku is like, yeah, we will have. But remember, kid, don't get in our way. And basically Haku is like, don't worry, he's always like this, even with me. And basically Naruto's like, oh, grumpy one, right? And basically Haku then nods, smiling and laughing, and basically Naruto actually started to have a liking towards Haku, and he is what he is. Anywho, now of course the Team 7 actually walked past them, and basically Naruto realized who they are, and Naruto actually looked at them. And just saying, Sakura hated Naruto just because he was an introvert, and just saying, she hated him mostly because most of the villagers hated him, and her parents told him to stay away from him and stay near Menma mostly, even though Menma was one of the Jinchuriki of the Ninetales. They believed that Menma would be the one to actually be able to control the Ninetales powers. And anywho, now of course Naruto actually realized who they are, and he doesn't want to really fight, but it is what it is. He's not meant to fight. He could just allow Zabuza to do it, do everything, and he still gets money. So technically he's getting free money. Anywho, now of course Zabuza's fight goes as per normal. It kind of goes a bit different because Naruto's perspective is a bit different. From Naruto's perspective, Kakashi was actually losing against Zabuza, especially because Kakashi is not used to the wetlands of the Land of Waves, and just saying, Naruto kind of got used to it because he's been traveling in the Land of Waves for a while, but his ways. Anyway, Naruto of course then out of nowhere saw that Kakashi slipped up and was about to get sealed, well, not sealed, imprisoned in the water prison. And he's peak times, bro, you got annihilated. And then out of nowhere, Menma actually came out with a few shadow clones, and they all rushed they rushed Zabuza with a technique of Menma's. Literally, Menma created this technique, and basically Naruto was really like stunned, because he never really knew that Menma actually trained and created his own techniques. But during the academy days, Menma did train quite a bit. Anywho, Menma actually engulfed himself with fire and literally then kicked Zabuza. Zabuza actually blocked it with his sword, but he still got scorched somehow. And basically, the other two clones were actually, rushing at, Zabuza, and Zabuza was actually able to cut both of them off, and basically in half. Sorry, and yeah. They poofed, and basically Zabuza and Kakashi started fighting again, and Kakashi actually got used to the wetlands now, and so Zabuza was losing. Of course, Zabuza was about to get killed, and so not only did Haku jump in by actually, stunning, was about to throw the Senbon at Zabuza's neck, but then Naruto actually came in, and just saying, Naruto wasn't really wearing a mask or anything, and so he was actually wearing his headband on his, Naruto, just saying, he has his headband on his arm. And no, sorry, not on his arm. He was actually wearing it like a little scarf, and literally having the knot on the back of his neck, and the actual emblem of the head protector, and the symbol of the leaf village on the front. And just saying, Naruto put a line through it. Even though he didn't hate the leaf village, he still is a rogue ninja. He has learned that most of the rogue ninjas actually draw a line in the headband, and so Naruto's doing it himself. And so basically Kakashi recognizes Naruto, and basically said, Naruto, what are you doing here? And basically, of course, Naruto then just looks away and then takes Zabuza away, and Haku didn't even get to throw the Senbon. And just saying, Zabuza's like, kid, I don't need your help, and basically Naruto's like, sharp, and basically of course goes off. And of course Kakashi was actually too tired to actually follow Naruto, and basically Menma's like, Naruto, you damn brat, come back here, I'm telling you, I'm the older one, so come back. And basically Naruto then just throws a kunai with lightning release on it, and quite a bit of it, and he looked like a little dragon was coming towards Menma. But then Kakashi actually did the mud wall to actually protect the both of them, but then a massive explosion happened, and basically the mud wall was barely standing, and basically Naruto, they realized that Naruto was really strong. And just saying, Naruto's kunai actually exploded in the once he actually came in contact with the mud wall, and he was actually, Naruto wasn't knew that Kakashi was going to protect Menma, and that wasn't going to kill. He knows, and basically that was actually a low tier tuning technique. He could actually make it into a high tier joining technique by just adding more chakra to it, but for now he didn't really want to kill them. But if Menma got hit by that, definitely would have killed. Anywho, of course, Tarzan takes Team 7 to his little cottage, and after this, Zabuza and Haku actually talking to each other, and basically Haku then says, okay, I'll go get herbs, and basically Naruto's like, I'll come with you. And basically, of course, Haku and Naruto have their own little talk, and basically Haku says, I'm just saying, this was around the first day, and of course they're gonna go on walks every day because they need to get herbs every day. Anywho, now of course Haku was telling Naruto about how if he has a loved one, he will always get stronger to protect them, and basically Naruto's like, I did have a loved one, but I wasn't strong enough to protect him. He died in front of my own eyes. And basically then Haku, not in front of my own eyes, sorry, he died without me being able to do anything. And basically of course then Haku's like, but wasn't the other one your older brother or something? And basically Naruto's like, I don't care about that one, he doesn't matter in my life. And basically Haku's like, oh sorry, I guess that was a sensitive subject. And basically Naruto's like, it's fine, but the only reason I left the Leaf Village is because they killed my master. They killed the only person that I actually loved in this world, the only person that treated me like a human, like an actual kid. Anywho, sorry for going into a tantrum. And of course Haku's like, no, it's fine, I like listening to your story. And I guess it's kind of philosophical, because the only person that actually treated me like a person is Zabuza as well. But of course Zabuza truly loves Haku, but of course he always acts hard, and basically he's like, nah bro, he's just a tool, yeah, you know what I mean. And after this, of course, a week passes, and Team 7 still trains in tree walking, and after this, of course, the Zabuza fight begins again. Of course, there was no Naruto in Team 7, so Naruto's actually fighting with Haku, and Haku and Naruto are actually fighting Menma and Sasuke. Menma is actually fighting Haku, even though he wants to fight Naruto, but Naruto actually is fighting Sasuke, because Sasuke actually took on Naruto first. Of course, Naruto is easily fighting Sasuke. But something that Haku actually doesn't know about Naruto that is really similar to him is that Naruto can actually use Ice Release and Steam Release. Anywho, of course, the fight begins with sorry, Haku actually beginning the fight against Menma, and Menma was actually doing really good. Even though and Menma is a hard counter to Haku, it shouldn't really be in Naruto, but Haku is a bit more of a master, has a bit more mastery over water release than Naruto, because Haku is more used to water release than Naruto is, and even wind release. But he is what he is. After this, Naruto is actually fighting Sasuke, and of course Sasuke actually awakens the one-to-one Sharingan. He doesn't really awaken it. He actually awoken it after seeing his parents die, but of course he never knew about it, and basically activates it without knowing. And basically he's like, wait, what? I had the Sharingan this whole time? And basically, of course, he begins this fight, and Naruto's actually having a pretty hard time, to be honest, especially because he's holding back a ton. And of course, the fight continues with Zabuza and Kakashi and Sukome, who was actually near the land of waves, actually heard the commotion, so she actually went towards there, and basically she actually saw that there was a cloud ninja. Yes, a sand ninja, not a cloud ninja. Sorry, my bad. I just got confused there. Really, it's my fault. Anyway, a sand ninja. It was a Jonin, and he was actually writing down, Haku's name, same as Zabuza's and Naruto's. Of course, they don't know about Naruto's name. They know about Haku and Zabuza because the ninja has been spying on Haku and Zabuza, but he doesn't know about Naruto. Of course, they name him. Of course, the ninja actually names him, Blonde Terror, because of course he can feel Naruto's true presence. The only reason Sasuke isn't scared or Sakura is because they can't really or even Menma is kind of can feel Naruto's presence, but he's just generally not scared of Naruto because he's the older brother, and he's like, nah bro, you ain't scaring me. Anyway, of course, Naruto is called Blonde Terror because he gives off a ominous aura and ominous basically everything. And basically the ninja writes it down quickly while sweating, and literally writes him as an A rank ninja, and says that his releases are water, wind and lightning, because he was actually using them against Sasuke, but he wasn't showing anything else. He had 3 of them, and from what he saw, he's 12, and literally he is a rogue leaf shinobi, and of course 10 went off. Oh damn, I am bleeding from my thumb. 1 second. I'm back. Anywho, of course, the ninja leaves then, and within a day he returns. Within a few days he returns to the Sand Village, and actually they print out the new bingo book, and is distributed in every single big village. But of course that was after the fight. But anywho, while the fight was continuing, Naruto was actually able to take out Sasuke, and basically Menma kind of got pissed off at this point and literally let out all of his power, and I was actually using the One Tails form of the of the Nine Tails without actually understanding what he was doing, and basically Naruto realizes that this is the other half of the Nine Tails, so Naruto actually decides to fight Menma properly, and of course he actually tells Haku to stand back and he'll take on Menma, and basically Menma was actually going all out, and he actually was able to get a good hit on Naruto with his claw, chakra claw, and literally slashed Naruto in the chest, and Naruto spewed out blood. He actually coughed out blood, and then basically Haku was about to help him, but then Naruto's like, it's fine, it's all good. And as soon as he says that, he actually teleports behind Menma. Yes, Naruto was actually able, as Menma actually slashed him, Naruto was actually able to, he actually used his back, the Menma's back, to actually with one hand he actually put one hand on Menma's back, and literally just used Menma's back to actually jump. And how once you're on a table or something and you want to jump over, you put a hand on top of it, and then you jump with your body, and then your hand is still on the table. Something similar to this. And basically Menma had the seal on his back, and Naruto teleported behind him, and literally used Ice Release, and basically froze Menma on the spot, and of course left half of his body. He only left the head, and basically of course Naruto then knocked Menma out, and Menma all the chakra, the Nanto's chakra was gone, and basically Naruto broke him out, and basically then of course they hear the sound of 1,000 birds, and Haku here was a bit too slow because Menma actually used the Nanto's chakra to actually injure Haku. And of course after this Zabuza dies, and basically Naruto and Haku kind of got pissed off, and so they both teleported in front of body flicking in front of Kakashi, and they both kicked Kakashi in the chest, and Kakashi kind of went flying, but then landed on on his feet, and he did a backflip, to be honest. And basically Naruto and Haku were like, get out of here or we'll kill you. And basically, of course, Naruto was actually starting to let a bit of his chakra, and basically Kakashi said, Naruto, just come back with us. And basically, of course, Gato appears and basically tells them that he wasn't going to pay them, and I guess one of them died, so that's good. There's only 2 more to go, and basically Naruto and Haku kind of get pissed, and so after this, Naruto and Haku kind of annihilate, Gato's men and take Zabuza's body and walk away. Of course, Kakashi was too injured to, do anything, and so after this, Naruto and Haku leave, and the bridge builder is safe. Anywho, after this, now Naruto actually found out about how poverty was in in the land of waves, or the Tarzan's village, and so he asked he actually got a new goal to actually stop the cycle of hatred. And most of this happened because of hatred and corruption, and so he wanted to stop corruption and the cycle of hatred, and especially because how ninjas all die, people die on missions, that is mostly because of the cycle of hatred, and all shinobi are against each other and everything. So he wants to stop the cycle of hatred. I'm joking. Anyway, now of course he was actually about to leave, but then he asked Haku, who was actually heartbroken, to come with him, since Haku is his friend. He doesn't want to leave his friend back in this state, and basically Haku actually accepted, and so they actually created their own little thing, and I'm gonna call it Night Raid, because it's a little homage to Comic Kill. It's so sad. I watched it 3 years ago, and oh my god, I was dying. I was in tears, bro. I watched it twice. I'm still in tears. Like, if I watch it again, I'm probably going to kill myself or something. No, not really, but still, it's so sad. Anywho, of course, Comic Kill is too sad. Anywho, now Naruto, of course, Naruto and Haku created Night Raid, and that was pretty much the end of part 1. But of course, before that, 3 days have passed already, and of course the Hokage has been told about Naruto, and now they actually got the the new bingo book, which was actually bought by one of their they actually bought a few bingo books from the Sand Village. Remember, they were going to do a tuning exam anyway. Anywho, now of course they saw that Haku, Naruto, and Zabuza's dead now, so they can take him out. So they crossed him out. Zabuza was first, then Haku, and then Kakashi's like, oh, he's one of them. I don't know how they got their information, but yeah, that's one of them. And basically, then Naruto was on it. Of course, he was called the Yellow Terror because they didn't know his true name. But of course, he was an A rank somehow. And they were like, wait, what? How's Naruto an A rank shinobi? And basically, then Kakashi's like, it's not a lie. I've seen him fight. And basically, then he actually took out Menma, who actually had who was in his One Tails form easily, and he has ice release. They got it wrong. Not only does he have water, wind, and fire, but he has ice release as well. And basically, after this, the Hokage is that we really need Naruto in the village ASAP. And of course, that's where I'm gonna end it off. I hope you all enjoyed part 1, and please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and also Shokro on Instagram, and also subscribe to my friend Hxmesh and my other friends, Miniman123, and also Ratreet, and last but not least, Kazama, my G Kazama. And also, don't forget to join the Discord server. All the links are in the description below. And also, I want you guys to tell me more ideas, more what if ideas for me to do, and new characters to implement, or new plots to implement, so I can actually implement them, because I don't want to do the same plot over and over again. This plot took me a while to think about, and yeah. Anywho, I hope you'll enjoyed it. This was the King of Weebs. My ducklings, you're dismissed. And right before we leave, I am going to stream this weekend, and even though I'm ill, I hope you can all tune in and say hello here and there. And anywho, I hope you'll enjoyed it. My ducklings, you're dismissed. And if you got up to here, please put in at the end of this video, end of video squad. And yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace. What you want? Peace.